To begin with, I just would like to thank all of you and thank your council for giving me the opportunity to talk to you tonight about Papua New Guinea, about some of the work that I do out there. I'd also like to thank you very much for the support you give, um, financial support, as well as prayer support. And so now I'll show you a little bit of how that support is being used. Now, Papua New Guinea, probably many of you know, it's down in the South Pacific. It rains a lot there. And so you have very lush vegetation growing in most of the country, and it forms a lot of waterways, rivers, which we use as highways in order for us to get around. Now, Papua New Guinea is located just a little south of the equator up there and a little north of Australia there. Most of the time, I am in Port Moresby teaching at Reformed Church's Bible College, but in about 6 weeks, I'll be traveling to the north coast to Wewak and then on into the interior of the Sepik River Basin to a little town called Ambunti. And there I will be teaching at a pastor's conference. Also, when I go to Ambunti, I have some friends there who are part of a church that they invite me to go and preach at their church. It's located about 2 miles outside of the town of Ambunti, so I have to make a trek through the jungle. It's just a small group of believers, but very dear Christian friends. Now in Ambunti, I also teach at pastor conferences. And these conferences are really meeting a need there in that region of the Sepik. Last April, we had over 100 men attending this conference. These men are very eager and enthusiastic learners. I really enjoy interacting with them, and it gives me opportunity to offer them resources. I give them things like NIV study Bibles in English, and I also give away things like our confessions, which have been translated into the Pidgin English language. So I taught there last year. In April, I'll be going there again in March to be teaching these men. And now, when the conference was done in Ambunti, then it was time to hop into the boat and head downriver to go to another town. Last year was the first time that we actually held 2 conferences, the one in Ambunti and then the next one downriver, and then about a 2 or 3 hour drive by truck up the road to a town called Brugam. And here too, we were able to really meet a need, and I think around 150 people attended this conference. Here too, there was opportunity to pass out resources. In this case, in this picture, they're passing out copies of the Bible in the Pidgin English language. Now, it's remarkable. It's pastors who come to these conferences, but a lot of them, or some of them, we'll say, not a lot, but some don't even have a Bible. They became pastors because sometimes it goes, they had a pastor, he left, the church is left without a pastor, and then they say, well, Brother Bob, you were a good elder, you're now our pastor, even though he's had no training. And so that's where these pastor conferences are very helpful for them. Now, it's not only in that East Sepik River region that I teach, but I also teach back in the capital city of Port Moresby at Reformed Church's Bible College, or RCBC. At RCBC, we'll back up. Well, anyway, at RCBC, I've been working over these past few years to adapt, write new courses, or modify the courses they have so that when men graduate from RCBC, they not only have a degree from that college, but they'll have a degree from MINTS, International Seminary, the organization that I work with. And that would enable these men to be able to do further studying. The long-term goal is to have a Papua New Guinean become the teacher at the Reformed Church's Bible College. Now this man, his name is Iga Kila, and he is a man who is showing great promise. He just graduated from the 2-year program at RCBC, and he's ready to start the next 3-year program to get a diploma. He has been also taking a MINTS course with me by correspondence. And his dream is to join with a couple of other graduates from RCBC and do a Reformed church plant in his hometown area in a different part of the country. Iga and his wife Helen have really been growing in their faith in these last few years, and so they made profession of faith at the Reformed Church there in Port Moresby, and then they had their young son Vincent baptized on that same Sunday morning. Now, Jane and I were in Papua New Guinea twice in 2024, and our last stint was August through much of November, and then we stayed for graduation. And RCBC graduated 8 students this past year. 2 of them graduated from that upper level diploma program after 5 years of study, and then 6 others graduated from the 2-year program, and a few of those are continuing on into the diploma level. And now graduation week is a busy time. The students all help with the setup of this stage and the sound system and all that. And so in the middle of that week, the college gives the students a little break. They take them to the beach for a day of relaxation, of having some good food and enjoying the water and even playing some games together. Now, food is often a part of festivities and fellowship, and graduation falls right in with that. They have a lot of food. Here is Jane helping to prepare food for the hundreds of people that will come to graduation. At the graduation, they'll serve things like pork and sweet potatoes and rice and greens and a lot of other good things as well. Now, Jane tries to get involved in a number of different things, some things which might surprise you. For example, in this picture, Jane is in jail. She visited this ladies group at the prison in Wewak with Penny Shuring of Pacific Island Ministries, so that they could visit with these, I think it's 11 ladies who have been incarcerated for one reason or another. And so Jane and Penny would go there to pray for these ladies and share God's word together. Of course, Jane is also involved with the education system in PNG, and she has been working at trying to help children in learning how to read. So she developed a reading curriculum, and she works with the Papua New Guinean teachers to help them to implement this reading curriculum into the classrooms. Now, Jane last spring also had the chance to talk with this woman. Philippa Darius is her name. She works at the National Department of Education in Port Moresby, and she is the head of curriculum development there for the schools, all the schools in that country. And so Jane wanted to show this woman her curriculum, but then also talk to Philippa Darius about a problem that she was seeing in the education system there in PNG, that these children, they're being taught in a way that is actually hindering them from learning to read and speak English correctly. So it was nice that Jane could meet with that woman there in the capital city. Now, it's not just children that Jane is trying to help them to learn to read, but adults as well. Some of the student wives at the Reformed Church's Bible College are still trying to acquire this ability of knowing how to read. And so Jane worked with a couple of these ladies trying to teach them using that same curriculum that she was using for the young children. Now, I am the only Minsk missionary serving in Papua New Guinea, but I belong to a team of Minsk missionaries who are serving all around the world. And in fact, tomorrow I am leaving for Florida to go to the annual Minsk meeting there in Miami. Each year we gather together to update and encourage one another. And so at this meeting, all the personnel gather. We share with one another how God is using each one of us to make disciples of all nations. And now you'll notice I'm not just sitting at the table, but I'm on a TV screen there in the background. And that's because not everybody is able to come to these meetings in person. And so we have people from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America who will participate then via Zoom. And so I look forward to this meeting taking place later this week on Thursday and Friday. And so, as you've seen and heard, God is at work in PNG and around the world. And the message of salvation coming through Christ's death on the cross is being carried to people of every tribe and tongue and nation. And we are thankful to the Lord that He has called us to this work. And we love what we do, and it's our heart's desire that through it all, souls may be saved and God may be glorified. So that's a little bit of what's going on in Papua New Guinea. And I asked Gordon if he'd be able to close, but before that, do you have any questions of what we do out there or questions about PNG? Yes.
Right, so is that actually working with MEMS within PNG over a younger person actually from PNG?
Yeah, so already this coming year, one of the pastors, there's only 6, maybe 7 Reformed churches right now in Papua New Guinea, but one of the pastors, they're going to have him teach some courses in the lower level at the Bible college. But to teach at the upper level, then the person has to have 1 degree higher than the people that he's teaching. So they need to have somebody who has a master's degree. And rather than sending a person to North America to try to get this master's degree, what the Bible College and Minsk, me, trying to do, working together, is that Minsk can offer them a master's degree. And but for them to start working in the Mint's master's program, they first have to finish the Mint's bachelor's program. And that's where our first step is, making it that the courses at Reformed Churches Bible College and the Mint's courses kind of blend together, so that when they graduate from the Bible College, then they have a Mint's degree as well. And then you need the right man. Not everyone is called to teach at a Bible college. Some are just ready to be pastors. Some are just ready to be church leaders. So it needs to be the right man who has a desire to teach at the Bible college, and then who would have the ability. He's going to have to be a pretty, sharp cookie, I guess you could say, be able to handle taking some of these Mint's courses at the master's level. So it's a long-term goal. It's one we don't see being completed until 10, 15 years down the road. But the Bible College, the staff at the Reformed Churches Bible College, and the board that supports that college, and Mint's, they're eager to all work together on this and try to get it that a Papua New Guinean becomes a teacher there at that school. So, but good question. And
Follow up on that. Right now, how much of the Reformed Bible College curriculum would you say is at the MITS equivalent? Like, are you 50% of the way there, or more?
so, okay, for a person to get a Mint's degree, they would have to take 40 Mint's courses to get a bachelor's degree. But what Mint's is willing to do is say, okay, you're already getting courses at the Bible College. It's not an accredited school, so we can't just transfer over credits and say, okay, a Bible College degree is as good as a Mint's degree. But Mint's will co-validate, I think is what they call it, the courses that Reformed Churches Bible College teaches, but then says they've got to have 10 Mint's courses in that mix. And so I have written a couple of courses that are being, well, I and others have written some courses that are being used at RCBC, and I'm working on a course on the Belgic Confession, a course on Old Testament history, and then, so we're trying to get 10 courses done, and that's a big thing for me to work on by myself, but thankfully, a man who served at the Bible College over the past 3 years, and he's now retired to New Zealand, he has agreed to help me. I mean, he's familiar with the Bible College, he knows the courses, so he too is going to work to adapt Bible College courses to be also Mint's courses. That way, it can be said that, okay, they have taken these Mint's courses. So that man in New Zealand is going to help me, and a pastor who has been a missionary in Papua New Guinea, a pastor from Western Australia, has also said that he could help me. And so, yeah, we're hoping to get 10 Mint's courses in that Bible College curriculum within the next few years. So, but good question. Any other questions? And if I don't see your hand, just shout it out. But okay. Then, Gordon, do you want to pray?